Thanks so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. Let's get to our major story for tonight. On the 12th of January, which is supposed to be Monday or so, the National Association of Resident Doctors have planned a nationwide strike, which should affect almost about 90 or 100 health institutions across the country if that strike action happens. But today, the federal government has approached the National Industrial Court sitting in Abuja, and the court is giving granted an ex parte order restraining the Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors and two of its officials from embarking on any form of industrial action from the 12th of January 2026. Justice Sublime granted the interim injunction, a suit marked NICN ABJ 062-2026 and filed by the FG and the Attorney General of the Federation against NARD, Dr. Mohammed Sulaiman and Shuaibu Ibrahim. The association said that it will embark on industrial action based on the fact that the federal government has reneged on its promises of meeting its demand. The association has put out and has also informed Nigerians on social media about the intention to go on the strike based on the demands numbering up to 10 or more, based on what they said they've agreed with the federal government in the past. And we've been keeping tabs with what is going on. We now know the intention of the federal government. They do not want the doctors to go on strike, and the doctors have been holding meetings, and we have the president of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Mohammed Sulaiman, who is live on the telephone with us tonight on the program. Thank you so much, NARD President, for joining us. Now, you've heard and you...
Very much for having me, and good evening.
Good evening. You heard about the federal government's move at the industrial action. Now, the court has given, the industrial court has given an ex parte order, which means that do not go on strike. You plan that strike to be early next week, isn't it?
Indeed, and I can tell you my members are not perturbed. My members are not shaking at all. We actually envisioned this, and even when we went on the NARD strike, Total Indefinite and Comprehensive 1.0, at the late part of last year, we actually anticipated no work, no pay, or even court injunctions would even come earlier than this. I can even tell you in 2014, the previous government of this country sacked the entirety of resident doctors in Nigeria. I can tell you for free that the issues at stake at this moment requires all of that. So they should go ahead and throw the no work, no pay. They are throwing the court injunction. I mean, we're looking at it. Probably even mass sacking of doctors will follow. It is not new or strange in Nigeria. I can tell you that the resolve of my members is not shaking. It's not shaking at all, if it is with respect to this issue.
But if you look at it, the federal government says they've made some structural adjustment, some institutional adjustment. And I mean, I've had conversation with the minister, the ministers of health, Dr. Pate and the Minister of State for Health, who have said that there is no government in this country that has been more committed to meeting the demands of workers, especially in the health sector, than the government of the day. And they are trying to make sure that not only now, but in the nearest future, but what they were asking from you is patience. Is it possible that that patience could come? Is the government reasoning with you? Are they talking with you? Or you're just left in your own agitation?
Honorable Coordinating Minister for Health, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, and the Honorable Minister of State for Health, Isia Kondo Salako. You know, these are senior colleagues in the profession. We have nothing but respect for them. But let us dwell into the issues. We came with 19 issues. We signed on these 19 issues. We went back home, suspended our action based on the MOU that we signed. And after this, we wrote a reminder letter in the middle of December. Several visits to many agencies of government to try and sort out all these issues. Nothing. zilch, nothing moved. After we declared our strike, we started hearing after we declared that we're resuming the strike, we started hearing in the pages of the newspapers and on social media that movements were being made. We have sat down to look at the context and the structure of this movement. And I'm telling you, up until now, palpable gains are still in the process. A lot of things are still in the pipeline. What the NEC is saying is take these issues to a finality. Take them to a finality. Now, I can tell you, well-meaning Nigerians have intervened. Well-meaning Nigerians have come into the conversation. So from Monday, 5th of January to today, I can tell you, Ministry of Health is running around to see how they can bring in 1 or 2 things to solve 1 or 2 problems. But there are 16 items on that table. And out of those 16 items, NEC is saying these issues must be resolved. Now, there's the idea that, okay, why don't you be more patient? I mean, we signed the MOU on the 27th of November. Strike was supposed to start on the 27th of December. NEC carried it. And at the beginning of this year, we had a meeting. We still carried, still gave more days. And then at the close of work today, I'm hearing from social media that court injunction has been served. I'm even hearing no work, no pay documents have been released. When we are discussing and we're on the negotiating table, we should do it in good faith. By the time you begin to bring out armories and arms like this, you don't want to negotiate in good faith. And that is why I'm making it very clear that the resolve of our members is not shaken by all this. All this was factored into the decision to embark on this action.
So, Dr. Suleiman, are you saying that you are going ahead? Just a moment, Dr. Suleiman, if you can hear me. Are you saying that you and your colleagues at NARD are going ahead on Monday with the nationwide 2.0 strike?
Unless the National Executive Council of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors says otherwise.
What about the court order of today? Are you ignoring that?
Are we ignoring the suffering that doctors are going through in this country? Are we ignoring the suffering patients go through because doctors are exhausted and frustrated and tired and have difficulties even executing their jobs? Are we going to ignore that?
But Dr. Suleiman, look at it. The federal government is saying that out of 15 or so demands that you have made, about 7 has been statutorily and effectively met. And they claim that the federal government has fully paid the 7 months arrears of 25% and 35%
arrears of 25-35%. We still have over 2,000, almost 3,000 of our members that are yet to be paid for those 25-35% arrears. The professional allowance table that has been corrected, it is only now that we're discussing perhaps service-wide vote will capture it. That service-wide vote, there are issues with it. These arrears that we're even talking about 25-35%, in 2023, it was said to be put inside the service-wide vote. It wasn't paid. In 2024, it was put in service-wide vote. It wasn't paid. In 2025, it was put in the service-wide vote. The president of the country had to make special provisions when doctors agitated for that money to be paid. So are we saying these arrears again, we'll have to go through that route of waiting for it, service-wide vote after service-wide vote, and waiting for the president of the country to especially intervene before they are captured in the budget? So the demand
it is no retreat, no surrender.
In January.
Just a moment, it is no retreat, no surrender. It does look to me that your conversations with the federal government is not yielding any result. And whatever move that this federal government is making and the Ministry of Health is not really meeting your demands and you're not satisfied.
We've had good faith conversations. I must confess that. But then after having good faith conversations, you are now seeing papers. We've given ourselves, this is what needs to happen, this is what needs to be done, this is what is supposed to be done. And then papers are flying to say no work, no pay, to say court injunction. I'm only saying it on social media anyway. So what exactly do you want members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors to feel like? You know, we have to be very circumspect about
you look at it, Dr. Suleiman, if I may quickly, you look at it, you know the implication of you and your colleagues down tooling. It means that almost 90 or so medical facilities across the country are going to be shut down or be inactive, you realize. And the danger that will pose to the health and the ability of Nigerians to receive medical attention. Isn't that something that one needs to think about the health of the average person who will be suffering in the midst of the fight between you doctors and the federal government?
Well, so let me end our conversation with this. Right now, we are in conversations, we are in discussions with the federal government team. I would hope that from this night to tomorrow to Sunday, a lot of things are going to be done in the proper way, so that the National Executive Council will now look at it, not in the context of court injunctions and no work, no pay. In the context of, okay, this has been done, X, Y, Z has been done, okay, this is an evidence that good faith is on the table. Since these things have been done, let us see how we can also give understanding to government. It is in that context that I want us to look at the conversation.
Yeah. In ending this conversation, Dr. Suleiman, and it's important for my viewers tonight to know, and the nations to know, what exactly is going to be their fate, especially because I was saying on the program the other day, my plumber who told me about his 2-year-old that died because of doctor strike. This is a very, very sad scenario on the implication of what could happen. And this is the NARD doctor strike 1.0. But look, there are allegations from some quarters that you and your colleagues are being backed by opposition ADC to ground Nigeria health sector. How do you react to that kind of allegation that you're doing the bidding of the opposition?
Two things shown. One, if these conversations yield these results that we are having currently, if these conversations we're in now leads to palpable things on the ground, which I'm very hopeful they will, I can tell you NEC will favorably look at this. With respect to the allegation that NARD is involved in 1, 2, or 3 things, I'm a clinician, I'm a doctor. I've never been involved in anything politics. My teachers know. These doctors that are heading the Ministry of Health know that we are resident doctors and we only serve Nigerian patients. Let me end with this, and I want to emphasize this. The conversations on the table, the palpable gains dropping, once they drop, I can tell you NEC will review its position.
All right. Dr. Mohammed Suleiman is the president of the National Association of Resident Doctors. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.